The Clockmaker's Promise. The coastal town of Seabrook was stitched together by three reliable sounds: the gulls that cried over the white-capped harbor, the waves that struck the pier with foamy applause, and, most of all, the mellow bong of the great tower clock that watched over Market Square. Every hour, its brass bell told fishermen when to cast off, bakers when to slide loaves from their ovens, and school children when to gather their slates and hurry home. But one windy morning in early spring, the bell did not ring. Seabrook paused, puzzled, then carried on, late, out of step, and just a little irritated. By sunset, the news was everywhere. The tower clock, built a century before by a celebrated craftsman, had finally stopped. A girl with an ear for ticking Amelia Brandt, 12 years old and never without a pencil behind her ear, heard the silence most keenly. Her family's bakery opened at 5 each morning, and the lost chime meant trays of buns emerged half-risen or half-burnt. When Amelia delivered pastries to Greenwood Lane, every doorstep held a different version of the same complaint. I missed my coach, my soup boiled over, my meeting began without me. Time, it seemed, had unraveled. Amelia adored anything with gears and springs. She could fix a music box before most children her age could tie a proper sailor's knot. So after her deliveries, she marched to the dim shop of Mr. Corwin Hale, the oldest clockmaker in town and guardian of the tower's mechanism. Inside, dust motes drifted like lazy snowflakes. Clocks of every size lined the walls, their hands frozen in awkward poses. Mr. Hale, stooped yet elegant, adjusted a magnifying loupe on his spectacles. He looked up. "Ah, Miss Amelia, you've brought my cinnamon twists, I hope." She placed a small bag on the counter. "And a question," she added. "Why has the tower stopped?" Mr. Hale sighed, a tired accordion of breath. "Its mainspring fractured. 2 teeth of the great escape wheel are bent. I'd mend them gladly, but parts of that caliber require funds the town council will not supply." Amelia's brow furrowed. "But without the clock, everything is off kilter." He gave a faint, rueful smile. "People managed before it existed. The mayor claims that an electric billboard would be more modern, flashing digits instead of hands." "Digits don't feel like home," Amelia muttered. Mr. Hale tapped the counter. "I made a promise years ago to keep that clock running as long as I could. But a promise alone cannot buy brass." An idea born of crusts and crumbs, Amelia spent the evening kneading dough beside her father, thoughts whirring faster than the bakery's mixing paddles. The broken escape wheel haunted her, each missing chime echoing through her imagination. At dawn, as orange light spilled through the shutters, she announced, "I'll raise the money." Her parents exchanged a look, part pride, part worry. "It's a noble goal," her mother said gently, "but even if every customer tipped an extra penny—" Amelia's grin widened. Who said anything about pennies? She sketched a plan across parchment bags, a springtime festival in Market Square, 3 evenings hence, featuring clock-themed pastries, cog-shaped cookies, miniature tower cakes. Half the proceeds would buy brass for new parts. The other half would replace the bakery's sputtering oven fan, ensuring future cinnamon twists emerged perfectly curled. Her parents agreed, delighted by her ambition. By that afternoon, she had roped in the florist, who promised garlands of paper flowers shaped like clock hands. The librarian pledged storytelling hours about legends of time. The school's brass band offered to play waltzes in 3/4, 1 beat for every tick-tock-tock. The last piece was Mr. Hale. Amelia hurried to his shop with posters in hand. "A festival?" He adjusted his spectacles again. "My dear, making parts for a tower clock is not cheap, nor quick, nor—" He trailed off as he examined her drawings. The square ringed with stalls, a banner that read, "Help Time March On." Something sparkled in his tired eyes, the faint glow of a mainspring, winding anew. "Very well," he whispered. "I will prepare my tools." The weight of doubt word spread as fast as the scent of fresh bread on the sea breeze, yet not everyone approved. The mayor, tall, crisp-bearded, and fond of speeches, declared, "Progress waits for no one. A digital display can be installed within a week, and at half the cost of repairing an obsolete mechanism." Some citizens, weary of missed appointments, murmured agreement. What if the festival failed? Why cling to an ancient clock when sleek numerals could beam down perfect time? Amelia heard those doubts while pinning posters to lampposts. They prickled like nettles, but she straightened her shoulders. A promise kept is never obsolete, she told the sea wind. The mayor, sensing a challenge, announced that he, too, would set up a booth, demonstrating the glories of modern timekeeping with battery-powered gadgets. If Amelia's festival did not raise at least half the repair cost, he would order the billboard the very next day. Festivities and fragile hopes. When the first evening of the festival arrived, the square shimmered with lantern light. Tables groaned under trays of sugared gears and fondant-coated hourglasses. Children raced with cardboard clock faces strapped to their backs, pretending to be seconds racing minutes. Musicians played brisk mazurkas. Elders hummed along. Amelia worked 2 stalls at once, handing out pastries, answering questions, checking the tin donation box that Mr. Hale had placed beside a velvet-lined display of the tower's cracked mainspring. People tapped the broken metal ring with wonder, as though touching the silent heartbeat of their town. Meanwhile, the mayor's booth blinked with neon digits, accurate but cold. Shoppers stopped, pressed buttons, nodded politely, then drifted back to the scent of cinnamon and brass polish. Still, as night deepened, Amelia grew anxious. The donation box felt lighter than she hoped. A storm cloud rolled over the harbor, rumbling. At 10:15, according to portable wristwatches, a gust toppled the florist's garland arch. Paper petals skittered like startled moths. Mr. Hale steadied it. "Courage," he murmured. "Clocks run on balance wheels that sway but never fall. The coin that carried a promise." Just as Amelia counted the final stack of notes, a hush swept the crowd. An elderly fisherwoman, silent since dusk, shuffled forward. Her gnarled hands cradled a small wooden box. "I fished this from the sea years ago," she rasped, lifting a single gold coin. Foreign, heavy, stamped with a compass rose. "Never knew its worth, but it's bright enough to remember. Use it." Gasps rippled. The mayor's eyebrows leapt. Amelia's own eyes widened. She stammered thanks as the woman pressed the coin into her palm. "A good clock," the fisherwoman said. "Told me when my husband's ship was late. It helped me hope, every hour." With that, she turned and disappeared into shadow. When the final tally was written in chalk across the bakery's board, cheers erupted. The coin's value, appraised on the spot by a jeweler, tipped them decisively over the needed sum. The mayor cleared his throat, withdrew his digital plans, and managed a stiff smile. "Well, tradition has its charms." Gears restored, trust renewed. All through the following week, Mr. Hale guided Amelia up the spiral stairs of the tower. They measured the bent teeth, cut new brass, filed and polished until the escapement gleamed. Amelia learned to oil pivots so finely that a drop became a glimmering bead of amber. Finally, at dawn on the first day of summer, Mr. Hale wound the grand key. The pendulum began its solemn arc. Wheels meshed, levers lifted, and the restored bell, bright and young as the day it was cast, sang a single, confident bong. Down in the square, a crowd erupted in applause. Bakers set timers by the chime, fishermen adjusted sails. The schoolmaster opened his classroom door exactly on the second stroke. Even the mayor, hat in hand, stepped forward. "Seabrook thanks you both," he said, voice echoing. "Old doesn't mean outdated. Sometimes it means earned." Mr. Hale bowed, but his gaze drifted to Amelia. It was her festival, her belief that repaired more than gears. It repaired trust. So morale that evening, as sunset painted the clock, face rose gold. Amelia carved the final words of her journal entry. "A community runs on promises the way clocks run on springs. Break one and everything drifts. Keep one, no matter how small, and you set the whole town back in rhythm.